Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, I'm your host, Scot Ferrell. Thanks for joining me today. Great show today. You might want to get a pen or paper or, these days, get your thumbs ready. We're going to cover a heavy topic, maybe. People my age can really relate to it. But if you're Gen Z, this is going to be something you want to pay attention to. Before we get to the show, remember Dirt Poor Coffee. That's how I get my strength, my fuel, my energy for the show. Some of the best coffee I've ever had, not making that up because they sponsor me. Trust me, if it was a crappy cup of coffee, they wouldn't be sponsoring me. But some of the best coffee I've ever had, Costa Rican. If you like Costa Rican coffee, it's the place to be. I'm not supposed to talk about this, I'm going to say it anyway, just between me and you. Sausage balls, they're amazing. She only has them every once in a while, but they ravel my grandmother's. Also, they have the best muffins I've tasted. So if you want a relaxing time, get a cup of coffee, get a good chicken sandwich, it's the place to go. All right, today's show. I've seen two movies, and we're going to show some clips from these two movies. We're not going to do it yet, but I'm going to tell you what the movies are. The Sandlot and Las Vegas. If you've seen either movie, you're going to get why I'm talking about this today. If you're not, be ready to be entertained because the clips are hilarious. But at my age now, I look back at life, and I've talked to a lot of people this week that are doing the self-reflection. And as you watch the trail of The Sandlot, you watch the last scene of the movie. I think the first time I saw it, I started crying. Why? It's the death of childhood. When does childhood end, and when do you become a man or a woman? When does the responsibility start? And you're playing baseball one day, and you don't realize it's the last time you're going to be playing with your buddies or playing hide and seek or whatever it is you're doing. And you don't realize, okay, today will be the last time I'm with these guys. And when you're thinking it that way, you're like, oh man, why didn't somebody tell me my childhood was going to end and I'm going to have to go do adult stuff? I could have maximized the time a little more. And then by the time you get to the last clip that I'm talking about, Las Vegas, it's reflection on winding this time up. And have I maximized it? And what do I do? And how do I maximize it? And what am I going to do going forward? Now, if you've seen both movies, you'll get what I'm talking about very quickly. But it's I had a lot to reflect on this week because, I'm in my 60s now, and I've been doing this almost 20 years. And as I look back at my stuff and how I've aged and how my beard's grayed, and I think, did I maximize the time of what I was doing? Did I take the time to thank people, love people, communicate to people? Did I look at every episode of life and really reflect on it and grab a hold of it and ruminate over it and enjoy it? Or did I just go day to day to day to day to day, week, month, year, cha-ching, and just go on with life? Which one was it? So today, hopefully the show will help you reflect, bring back some good memories, but also help you get prioritized in your life on what it is you want. The only day we're guaranteed is now. There is no tomorrow for a lot of people. So how do we maximize the time we have while we're here and enjoy it? All right, go ahead and show the first clip from The Sandlot, and you'll know what I'm talking about here in a minute.
I kept in touch with those guys over the years, and I found out that Yaya's parents shipped him off to military school. After the Army, he became one of the pioneering developers of bungee jumping. Of course, we all know why. Bertram got really into the 60s, and no one ever saw him again. Timmy and Tommy became an architect and a contractor. They started out small, designing playground equipment and prefabricated tree houses. But they became multi-millionaires when they invented mini-malls. Squints grew up and married Wendy Peppercorn. They have 9 kids. They bought Vincent's drugstore and they still own it to this day. Hamilton Porter became a professional wrestler. You know him as the Great Hambino. De Nunez played AAA ball, but he never got to the majors. He owns his own business now, and he coaches a Little League team that his sons play on, called the Heaters. Hercules lived to be 199 years old, in doggy years. I was the last one to move away, but when I did, the Sandlot was still there. After Benny pickled the beast, his reputation spread all over town. From then on, he was known as Benny the Jet Rodriguez, and the nickname stuck with him for the rest of his life.
Now pitch running for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
It's the clutch situation of the season. They say the Jets lost a step or two, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some fireworks here. The Jets got a suicide lead, and there he goes! He's stealing home! They don't see him! I don't believe it! He's stealing home! He's stealing home and they don't see him! I don't believe it! They don't see him! The pitch!
Outstanding ending to a movie. Outstanding. Wow, that brings back a lot of memories. I think I still have one of those photos of me and the guys. It's funny, you know, you got one guy playing in Major League Baseball, you've got everybody that went their way. And I remember being with my guys, and I'll tell you how all of us ended up too. It's funny, I'm the one who went to college. I think everybody else is more successful than I am, but how do you go from, you know, I wrote a list of all the stuff we used to do as kids. One, you rush out of school so you can go hunting or fishing when you get home. All right, I remember, all right, we got to get off the bus, we got to get home, we got to do this. But, you know, you go from sleepovers, camping out, hunting, fishing, throwing rocks across the pond, skipping stones, catching lightning bugs, playing hide and seek, little league, laying out in the yard looking up at the stars, thinking, what are we going to do when we're adults, you know, because being an adult seems so far away. Okay, I'm 8. Our parents seemed old, and my grandparents, you know, we thought people in their 60s had 1-2 feet in the grave. All we needed to do was cover them up. And it seemed like summer lasts forever. It didn't, because eventually you had to go back to school, EGAD, but it seemed like summer lasts forever. And then you lay out there, you stay up late at night debating NASCAR, Major League Baseball. Who's your favorite quarterback? For me, it was Willie Joe Namath. Talking about NBA players, Dr. J for me, you know, wrestling, you know, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Blackjack Mulligan, whatever it was on TV. I'd always watch that with my grandma. She really liked wrestling. My great-grandmother used to go to the armory when they had wrestling, and she would take her cane and beat the stage with it, or beat the squared circle with it, and start screaming at the wrestlers. So my great-grandma, she rocked, man. And then we're just being around being stupid, hitting puberty, chasing girls, talking about girls. And then one day, I'm trying to think today, when was the last day we all hang out? It seemed to have happened, we got through middle school, and we got to high school, and then we all seemed to pursue our things. And then I was the last one, I was the youngest, and I was the last one out of my group on my street to graduate from high school. So by the time I graduated, everybody was gone. Now I reflect back on everybody as we used to sit with together. A few own a heating and air conditioning company. It's funny, most of my big brothers, I call them my big brothers because they were like my brothers, still are, went on to NASCAR. It's funny, I think between the 4 of them, I won't use their names, between the 4 of them, they have 5 or 6 Winston Cup championships. It is amazing what these guys went on to do. I mean, you know, I was the only one, I can't fix anything. I tell people I help fix people, not stuff. And they were always working on cars, and then one of them's dad had a race team. He actually won the championship in the 70s. And they went on to do crazy successful things in NASCAR. And I still talk to them. We just don't get to see each other because, I'm in the Northwest Georgia area, one's in Montana, two are in Florida. We just don't get to see each other. But that scene, that clip, brought it all back. It's like one day we're out playing baseball, and then the next day we're all adults. Why didn't somebody warn me? Why didn't somebody tell me, hey, today's the last day you're going to play ball with these guys? And in reality, it may be the last time you ever see them again. And we've lost some guys from the neighborhood that have passed way too early. But it's crazy because most of the people in my neighborhood went on to be incredibly successful. And some of my friends made it to the league. The other one's the pinnacle of NASCAR. And then I had to say, okay, what have I done? We all had dreams, right? I wanted to be Wolfman Jack when I was a kid. And, well, it just so happens my agent, Steve Wall, my mentor too, owns all of Wolfman Jack's rights. And it's funny that my mentor had took over the legacy of my hero on the radio. And I always wanted to do radio. I used to practice all the time. And then, golly, almost 20 years ago, I got in front of the mic and haven't stopped since. But if you're my age or a little younger, maybe you're millennial, that clip will bring some memories back. If you're Gen Z or Gen Y, it hasn't hit you yet because what I'm going to talk about next will hit you eventually because you go from no cares, no worries, no bills to pay, just absorbing life to one day you wake up and you got a mortgage, you got a wife, you got kids, you got responsibilities, you got 80 to 100-hour weeks. Nobody told you that was coming. Or if they did, we didn't listen because we were knuckleheads as kids. But we've all been successful and we all found Christ and we're all still alive for the most part. We've only lost a couple guys, which I think is a victory the way we lived as kids. It's amazing all of us aren't dead, but I know a lot of people say that. So you've got the Sandlot where you've got this ultimate childhood revolving around baseball and love and life and dreams and what you're going to do. And it's funny that the one that married the girl, you got to watch the movie to get the whole concept of why that's a big deal. But there's normally one guy who marries the dream girl. I'm trying to think out of our group. Yeah, well, one did. I married somebody nobody knew, so she can't be the dream girl because I didn't grow up with her. But now I'm going to show a clip from the movie Last Vegas. And it's really something I have to reflect on now because I'm those guys' age in the movie. Go ahead and show that for me.
Hello.
Hey, is this the Bionic Man?
Hey, Billy. How you doing? What's going on?
What are you whispering about?
Oh, Miriam dragged me to a hideous dinner party. I'm just going through someone named Abraham Rosenbaum's medicine cabinet. He's got some very deadly shit here.
All right, hang on, let me patch you in, Archie.
Okay.
Yourself on all these guys? Are you insane? At least I have a husband. Oh, whatever.
Clayton residence.
How you feeling, Arch?
Billy, hey, how you doing? I'm just sitting here watching this housewives thing. Horrible people, horrible.
Hey, Arch.
Hey, Sam. How's the titanium hip, man?
No, the hip was last year. It's my knee. It's great. Yeah, I'm thinking of having my balls done next.
All right, listen, guys, I got something important here, all right?
Oh, shit, Billy.
Heart or cancer?
Prostate, what?
Why every time the phone rings, you think somebody's dying?
I live in Florida now. Usually when the phone rings, somebody is dying.
I'm getting married.
What?
Wow.
To that young lady who's half your age?
She's almost 32.
Billy, I have a hemorrhoid that's almost 32.
Now, look, Archie, by the time she's my age, okay, I'll be...
Dead. You'll be dead, Billy.
Billy, you've got your whole what's left of your life ahead of you. I mean, look at Archie. He's divorced and miserable. I've been married almost 40 years, and I wish I was as miserable as Archie.
Can you guys maybe give me a little support as my dearest friends? How about it?
Sorry. You're right. Sorry. Yes. Good. It's good news.
We're happy you're finally getting married. Right. So, how'd you pop the question?
You remember my friend Ronnie, the guy I worked with who trained me?
Yeah. Love that
Good
guy.
guy.
Yeah, well, he died. I proposed at the funeral.
I got nothing. Arch?
Nada.
So Lisa, you know, she doesn't want a big wedding or anything, so we're gonna get married in Vegas this weekend.
So we're gonna have a bachelor party in Vegas?
No, come on.
No. Yes, we are.
Yeah,
first
we are.
wedding?
Remember, you threw all of our bachelor parties for us.
2 for me.
No, but we got no time, because we're getting married on Sunday.
Ah, Billy.
So it's fine. We fly in on Friday. Saturday, we give you the best bachelor party in the history of mankind. And then on Sunday, your child bride flies in, and voila.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Man.
Billy, it is 4:15 in the afternoon, and I'm at a dinner party. If I don't get out of here soon, I'm gonna swallow all of Abe Rosenbaum's pills at once. What about you, Arch?
Well, my son won't let me go.
I can't smoke, drink, eat salt, or stay out past 9, but
Archie's in.
All right. No, I love this. This is great, man.
we're invincible, baby.
Flatbush 4, we ride again.
Flatbush 4, yes.
Yeah, so, who's gonna call Captain Sunshine?
Billy.
Oh, look, guys, I know he hates me now, but he's gotta be there. You know it. I know it. So, do me a favor. You guys figure it out, all right? I gotta go now. I'm hanging up.
Wait, Billy.
All right. I'll lie to my son. You tell your wife.
Wow. This resonates with me now because, well, for one, my father-in-law just got out of care. He passed away recently. And they had a happy hour at 3 at the rest home because about half the people slept through that. So it was very interesting to get a happy hour. But I've had this conversation with people. It's funny, at our age now, they always want to talk about our health. What's going on? You got cancer, you got the prostate, you got this, you got that. What's going on? How's your bowel movements? I mean, the things we talk about now, I'm just like, are you serious? Is this really who we become? I have been at a dinner party at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've done all the things in here other than marry the girl half my age, but I've had buddies do it. I'm like, man, I got socks and underwear older than this girl. You might want to rethink this. But it shows you the two worlds, right? One that has endless possibilities. The summer lasts forever. All your dreams are possible. Everything's right in front of you. And you blink, literally. I think Tim McGraw's got a song about this. And now you're at a dinner party at 4:15 in the afternoon in Florida, and people do die. Every time the phone rings, somebody is dead. Or talking about their health, or they got cancer, whatever it is. Heart attack, stroke. What's the joke now? If you're going to marry a girl half your age, you better hope she knows the signs of a stroke. Yeah, I've seen. I told somebody that one time. They didn't think I was very funny. But it shows you how quickly it goes. But the great thing was, like my buddies, the love's still there, the union's still there, the relationship's still there, and that's something you treasure. And it gets harder and harder as the years go by. You don't see each other. And one will pass, the other will pass, and I've had to deal with that. So I was talking to my wife. I'm like, when did childhood end for us? What was the line that you couldn't cross? Kind of like the day you found out there was no Santa Claus, no Tooth Fairy, no Easter Bunny. It's that line. It's okay. Now I'm officially an adult. I think mine. I think if I really had to look, I was in a drug-induced haze from the age of 16 to 21, so it's a little spotty there, but there are two events I do remember quite vividly. My father's passing away and my mother passing away. I lost my parents at a very early age due to their lifestyle, but the great thing was I never had a relationship with my father. Right before he passed, we ironed it out. We spent, I can't tell you how much time together. So when he died, it was devastating to me because, all right, this guy that I didn't have a relationship with 21 plus years, and then I have a relationship with him, and then he leaves me. And that was devastating for me, and I told this story before, and then my mom passed away shortly after that. And it really hit me, and this was when I knew I was no longer a child. I'm almost 22, I'm standing near my father's grave, and I just take a breath, and I go, it's my turn. I guess I am the patriarch, the father, it's my turn to step up. It's kind of like when your father or your mom do Christmas, and then they get a little older, and now it's your turn to step up and lead the family and have everybody over at your house. Kind of like Christmas Vacation, just not the same ending. And that was it. I had to reflect on All right, both of my parents are gone. I'm still really young. I'm in my early 20s. Now what? What's the future really hold for me? Because now that the past is the past and I can't go back, it's kind of like the song by Johnny Mathis, "A Christmas Toyland." You can't go back. You only can go forward. But are you ready to go forward? Because what's awaiting you? I think we do kids a disservice by lying to them as kids, but that's me. But now as you become that adult, your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, people didn't talk about the heartache, the work travel, I remember waking up in Memphis one day, thinking I was in Nashville. I'm in Nashville thinking I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I had the Southeast for a company I worked for. I was always on a flight. I was always in a car. I was always in a hotel. I didn't know what day it was sometimes. And I know my friends do that, leave on Saturday, leave on Sunday, maybe come home on Friday, chances are they come back on Saturday, leave back again. You've got 3 suitcases, half empty, half full, clothes everywhere. Yeah, they didn't tell us about the 100-hour weeks, which I've worked plenty of. I was a high school basketball coach for years. Kids coming, that's wonderful. The first time you hold your child, it's the most magical thing that could ever happen to you. I can testify to that. But it seems to speed up, and you don't want it to speed up. And they get older, and they grow faster. And then there comes a day where they don't want you with them, and they want to be independent, and they want to be adults. And you don't want them to be, and you want to pull them back in. And then all this other stuff's happening where your buddies are starting to get sick. You've got friends dying. You got family dying. All the family you had have aged out and now have gone on to be with the Lord. And you sit and go, where'd the time go? And now I'm sitting at a ball game of my friends' kids, or I used to go to my nephews' games, and now my nephews and nieces are 30s and soon to be 40s. Actually, one is in her 40s. And you sit down and go, have I maximized what I was given? Do I really know why God created me? Am I doing what He created me to do on a daily basis? If you look at Las Vegas, you've got one friend that's no longer speaking. Now, if you watch the movie, it's absolutely hilarious. It's Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro did a great job in this movie. And they ironed everything out. Sorry, I'm spoiling this for you. They ironed everything out at the end. But it's very painful to watch if you've lived it. Because now you're no longer looking at a movie, you're reflecting on you. You're thinking about your life. And it can be quite painful. Like I said, the first time I saw the Sandlot scene, it brought tears to my eyes. Because it reminded me of a time of innocence, possibilities, people, love, brotherhood. I love those guys. I still love those guys. I've gotten to see some of the girls. We had girls and guys in our neighborhood. We lived out in the middle of nowhere. And I've gotten back in touch with a lot of people from the past. I tell people that the greatest thing that ever happened to me was being terminally ill. Why? It just taught me to reprioritize everything, because when you think you're running out of time, and I talk to a lot of terminally ill people being a pastor, you maximize what you have left. Now, that was 10 years ago. I am completely healed now. But I got a chance to maximize everything that was left. I tell people how much I love them now, which I've never done. I'll text people. I text 10, 12, 13 people every day, tell them how much I care about them, how much I love them, how valuable they are, how wonderful they are. Well, what prompted that? Well, I didn't think I'd ever get another chance, so why didn't I do it to begin with? You know, and then we think and we look at all the stars, because we lived out in the middle of nowhere, so we could see the stars every night. You don't realize those stars will end up being in the girl you marry's eyes, right? So you think that's beautiful, and then you get married and you see them in your girlfriend or your wife's eyes, and it just brings everything to, now I'm an adult, I'm no longer a kid. And as they were reflecting, as if you see the movie, they always keep repeating, where did the time go? How did it go by so quickly? What did we do with it? Did we maximize it? And they've all gone on to have kids. The ending's quite funny. So if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to ruin it for you, but you need to watch it. But now let's talk. I don't know what age you are. You may Z, Y, millennial, X, baby boomer. I think that's all we got now, because pretty much most of the other generation has left us. The silent generation, as they are called. I call them the Great Depression because my mom and dad never left the Great Depression here. But now I gotta ask you, what's your wind-up time? We don't know. Are you going to take regrets with you? Things you didn't do, didn't try, didn't explore, companies you didn't start, people you didn't talk to, places you didn't go. Are you maximizing what God gave you? I had a mentor do this with me, oh my gosh. Not quite 40 years, but almost 40 years ago. He said, boy, you're throwing your life away, you're wasting it, you don't know who you are, where you're going, or what you're going to do. Figure it out. Get it done now. Best advice I ever got. So I started to figure it out, went back to college, got my degree, been doing this 36 years now in the behavioral world. Was educational a lot of times. But now that we know that we're not guaranteed tomorrow and we don't always get the happy ending that they've got, what am I going to do today to maximize tomorrow? What am I going to prioritize? Do my requirements in daily life change? Do my priorities change? So many times, men, I'm going to talk to men now, we make work our idol, our end-all, be-all, our goal, our achievement. And like my dad's generation is the last one to get the pension, right? My dad was so sick of his job that he took the early retirement. My dad was the first group to get the buyouts of corporate America. They asked my dad, I don't think they had a chance to finish the would you like to retire and receive. I think he was already in line to sign the paperwork. He signed it literally, I think he called me. He signed it that day and he was done. They didn't even ask him to stick around. My dad got a box, packed his stuff up, was out the door. So my dad retired at 50. Now, he was dead at 57 from cancer. And he didn't really get to enjoy the last 7 years. He tried. My dad decided, I'm dying. I got 1 year to live. He wrote out a list of everything he wanted to do before he passed. Did it. And died almost to the day where he stopped his list. But he didn't go to heaven unfulfilled. He got it all done, repaired relationships with me, everybody, did everything he had to do before he left. Now, he had a expiration date. The problem is we don't live life like we have an expiration date. We live it like I got tomorrow, I can do that later, I'll get to it, I'll get to that tomorrow, I'll call them later. They don't really know that, I got tomorrow to tell them. But how many people die in the world on a daily basis? I used to have the stat, I don't have it with me today. Bad show host. But isn't it time to treasure and capitalize on everything you've been given, every moment? I know during the formative years, I've got an older son, I was always coaching somebody else's kids. So I'm spending 80 to 100 hours a week with everybody else's kids. Because when you teach high school, you have to coach. So I had basketball and golf. I did golf so I could get a tan. I'm Irish, good luck with that. But so my season started September, it ended on May 15th. And then I had camp. So then I had 6 weeks of camp. By the time I got around to my vacation, it was mid-July. I had 2 weeks off every summer from everything. And then I go back, and then school starts, season starts again. So I didn't get a lot of time, and I look back and go, how did I do it? 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep every night. The stress that came with it, it's a blur. Do you really want your life to be that way? Do you want to have to channel all the regret and all the love and everything you want to give your kids and your grandkids? That's what people normally do. People go, why didn't you act like this when I was that age? We have to remember, it's kind of like, how do you stay married to the same woman over all these years? She's not the same. You're not the same. Let me illustrate. Let's say you get married at 20, all right? Your wife at that time is one woman. By the time she's 30, she's different. By the time she's 40, she's different. By the time she's 50, she's different. By the time she's 60, she's different. You're not married to the same woman. You've had to endure menopause for both sexes. You've had your health issues, crises, financial issues, housing issues, political issues, world issues. You've had to go through all these things and they change you. So by the time, that's why marriage is such a miracle that it even makes it, because both of you are changing and evolving, and you have to evolve with each other and adjust to the changes because those are coming, and you have to have enough love and commitment to stay in it. Well, same thing with parenting. You parented your kids as one person, but now as grandma and grandpa, you're completely different people in a different walk of life. You've matured, you've grown, hopefully. You've gained a little wisdom, hopefully. Not everybody that's older has wisdom. You've discovered that girls don't have cooties, finally, like you believed when you were a kid. And now because you have the grandkids, you can do nothing but love. You don't have to be the heavy, the bad guy. You discipline, but not the way you discipline your kids. You're fun. You eat ice cream at 7 in the morning. The checkbook's always open, when with your kids it couldn't be because you had so many things to take care of. Now I'm an empty nester. My wife and I, we woke up one day and went, oh my gosh, I didn't realize we had that much money. No, people don't tell us how much kids cost. It's just part of it. I mean, you struggle together. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how you're going to pay the bills some days. You just do it, period. But the problem is sometimes we, couples, people, we get so caught up in the struggle of the finances and how are we going to do this and how am I going to get 3 kids to 3 activities and then get to church on time on Sunday and my parents are this and this person's driving me nuts at work and I got this project, I got to go out of town on Friday, and it all just starts to speed up. It's like a snowball. And you wake up 5 years from then and go, wow, what did I do? I can't even remember what I did the last 5 years. Now with me, I was sick 10 years ago. I don't remember what was going on then. My wife and friends and my publisher were having to clue me in on what was taking place. And there's some inventions that happened that I don't understand. It's like the first time I found eBay was in 2022. And I was like, man, there's this really cool thing now called eBay. My wife, my friends are like, the problem is you're not kidding, are you? No. How long has this been around? They're like, and then they would say, where you been, man? And then they realized, I don't remember any of it. Like apps, and I don't know how to use them. And there's a lot of technology that passed me by. Why? I was sick. I don't remember things. It went by so quickly. I don't want to go on the rest of my life like that. I want to say, that's it. I'm slowing down. I'm going to focus on whatever I got to focus on, doing what God told me to do while I'm here. Because to Gen Z, I've got one foot in the grave. And people used to say, you're 60, you're midlife. No, you're not. Midlife's at 40. That's when you trade your wife in, get the young girl, and get the convertible. Midlife crisis. It's not at 60. We're winding this up. Now, the great thing is, if you listen to Forbes magazine and to psychologists, your maximum years where you create the most, do the most, build the most are 60 to 70 and 70 to 80. Why? You work from 30 to 50-ish. Chances are you've lost 1 or 2 fortunes by then. By the time you hit 60, you've got the knowledge, you got the wisdom, you got the know-how, got the staying power, got the discipline, got the knowledge. Now you've built your company. Now you're going forward. Now you're training your replacement. Now you're putting the pieces in place for legacy. Because we're all going to leave a legacy, all of us. It's just a matter of, is it one that we want to narrate, or is it one that we want other people to narrate for us that's not so flattering? Because a lot of people have left things behind, but they left behind damaged people, hurt feelings, pain, destruction, instead of love, legacy, joy, peace. Every time you think about this person, you smile, like my grandparents. Every time I think about my grandparents, I just start to giggle. Why? They were the most wonderful people I've ever known. My 2 grandmas, I feel like I cheated getting the best ones on the planet. But I did. And I think about them now, being my age when I came along, and how much they did for me, how much they loved me, how much they expressed that to me. I want to be that grandpa, except I want to be better, right? I want to be better than my grandparents were. And that's a huge thing to try to do. But let me talk to you. What are you doing right now that needs to change? You've seen both video clips. Chances are you've seen both movies. And I didn't realize it, but The Sandlot's the most popular movie in Major League Baseball. I read that report 2 days ago. All the Major League players like to watch the movie. Because, again, it reminds us of the dreams that we wanted. And some of us made it, some of us didn't. But as you reflect and look back, there's things you've got to answer for you so you don't wake up one day and you've got 70 to 80 years of regret. Are there things I regret? Sure. Can I change them? No. Does it do me any good looking back? No. Don't focus on things you can't change. Go forward and change things you can. Go forward and accomplish things that you want to accomplish. There's still a lot I want to do. A lot. And I look at my wife sometimes and go, why aren't we doing that? I'm sure it's me that's causing this. Being on the spectrum sometimes, I have my hang-ups. But why aren't we doing it? Well, let's go do that. Let's call that person, and let's go have dinner with them, and let's invite that person, and I want to go there. I want to help this person. What's God got me doing this week? So now I've gotten to where I have a book that I write everything down in. What happened, what I want, where I'm going, all my goals, all the objectives, time sequenced. You know, I'm in my early 60s now. Where I'm going to be at 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. What's accomplished? What am I doing? Where am I going? And I have it all written out. I like big scheme things, so I can, you start out with a full picture and then reduce it down in the steps so you can accomplish it, just behavior 101. And I've done that. Now, I started doing that right after I got healed. I got my full healing by 2020, right around COVID. I'm still going through rehab for my TBI and for my physical because I'm still learning how to walk, use my left arm. I lost the use of my left side. My foot, I had a drop foot, my left leg. This hand sort of works. Yesterday, my therapist was having me throw a ball. And all of a sudden, I went from being a pretty good athlete to being the kid nobody wants on their team. You know, the one in school where you got 30 kids and everybody's been picked, but there's one kid because they can't throw a ball, they can't run, they can't catch. That's me now. I looked at my therapist and I said, I'm the kid nobody wants on their team now. Because I'm throwing with my left hand and I'm trying to catch with my left hand, I'm dropping it, and I'm trying to throw it again. And I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm that kid. I'm the kid that's getting ready to get terrorized in dodgeball. I'm going to be the one they throw the ball at. But I know that if I'll keep going back to therapy, I'll keep working with her, I'll keep doing what she tells me to do, this will all repair itself, and I'll have the full use of my left arm again. And I'm getting there with my left leg, and the Brain Therapy Center is helping me with my brain. And I'm just getting better every day. I've got my goals and objectives out in front of me. I don't want any regrets. I don't want to be like the people that I used to go visit when I'd go see my father-in-law. I'd stop by and see some of his neighbors because a lot of times they don't have people coming to see them. And we chat, and he wasn't far from, he didn't have dementia, but a lot of people did, or physical issues, or the help him push wheelchairs, whatever it was, because I had to push his. And I'm like, this is not my ending. This is not the way this ends for me. I'm not going to be in a wheelchair. I'm not going to be in a convalescent home. I'm not going to have people feeding me. I decide now this is not my end. Okay, that's great. You can decide that. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions. Okay, you made a decision. Well, the decision ain't any good until you back it up with some action. All right, so what am I going to do to make sure I don't end up at a convalescent home? Well, as soon as that was over, I called the Brain Therapy Center, signed up. Got my physical therapy started. Got all these things in the motion, changed my diet completely. Now, I've lost 70 pounds since I was sick. Wow, I was almost at 290. I'm back down to 220. My ideal weight's 210, so I don't have far to go. Because I'm broad, I carry a lot of girth, I guess. So I'm not fat at 220. I'm just out of shape. So got that goal, got all my business goals out in front. I decided to come back in front of the camera. I looked so sickly you would not have wanted to see me, especially not in high def with these cameras. These guys are way too good for me to have looked that bad. I got the best production team, and you would not have wanted to see that in high def. Remember, I'm at the age now to where if I was a stripper, I would start naked and y'all pay me to put my clothes on as fast as possible. I would never do that to you. That's where, but I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know that's real. I know that's me now. The key is I made a decision to maximize the time I have left on a daily basis, minute by minute, hour by hour, second by second. No wasted gaps, no regrets. No phone calls not made, no texts not sent, no company not started, no category not covered with you. Why am I covering deep things now? It's what people ask me. You know, when you do this for a living, you're Walmart, Kroger, Publix, Albertsons, depends on where you are in the country. People just come up and ask you questions. And I'll go, can I use that on the show? And they'll say, sure. I said, because if you ask me, it's kind of like with radio. One phone call, you're going to get one phone call for every 10,000 people from what my mentor told me that listen. And we were blessed. When I was doing a live talk show, we got a lot of calls, man. And we got them from all over the United States, some from all over the world. Because I was syndicated. I don't remember how many cities I was in. But it was cool to get all that input. And I still get it. I mean, I'll just be sitting in a coffee shop. And somebody will come up and go, hey, what do you think? What would you say about this? And I got that this morning, actually. Some people I know, wonderful ladies, got to chat with them before the show. Okay, I'll handle that. My goal with this show, for one, to teach you to maximize life, but two, help you overcome all the things you need to overcome. If you got a problem, let's fix it. That's the way I do my company. I have a consulting company. And we have mid-sized companies and individuals get their lives together, get their business together, and make ROI. Now, in a relationship, it's love. In a business, it's money. All right. And we teach people to love people and use money, not the other way around. But also, I like being in front of the camera so we can talk. I like to talk to you all the time. That's fine. I might as well use my expertise to help. Plus, we get to talk about really good coffee. Coffee's a must in my life. And I brought my mascot today, Sasquatch, peace-loving Sasquatch, since we just had our 250th birthday of our wonderful country. But this week, today, hopefully, I want you to think about what it is, one, regrets. Get rid of them. They don't do you any good. They just slow you down. Acknowledgement of the regrets, though. You have to acknowledge what's happened. Let's not act like, don't be that family, well, that never happened. Well, we did. Acknowledge it. I like the way Jesse Duplantis says it. Admit it, quit it, forget it. Let's go. Let's get on. It's the key is, what are you going to do about it? Who do you need to forgive? Who needs to forgive you? Who do you need to go see? What's the phone call you need to make? Who's sick and needs you? Who's financially strapped and could use your help? Who just needs to talk to you? Who can you go pray for? Whose business can you help? It's not that hard, man. When you get out a piece of paper, get out a pen, or get your thumbs on this, just start, okay, I can type. What is it? When I started preparing for this, I watched those clips, and I've not even covered most of my notes, but it wasn't hard for me to start writing stuff down. Because the longer I went back and watched them 2 or 3 times each, and it just kept coming to me. Because having the memory issues I do, when I listen to a song or watch a video, it helps jog the old noodle. And they say, hopefully, a lot of it's going to come back to me. My wife's had to narrate a lot of the 20 years we've been together. I've had to call my ex-girlfriends and ask them for help, helping me with memories. But I'm not going to have regrets. I'm not leaving this place with regrets. And you could hear in the voice in Las Vegas, Kevin Kline. Now, when you see the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. Morgan Freeman, Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas. There's a lot of regret there. Now, it's all worked out by the end. Naturally, it's an hour-and-a-half movie. Come on, man. You got to work it out. It's a fairy tale. It's not real life, but it could be. Because that movie was pretty spot on with my life at this age. Because my buddies are successful. And they are thinking about selling their companies. And they are with sell down. And they are moving. And they've got other objectives in life. And there's other stuff they want to do. And unfortunately, none of us are together now. I probably live 5 hours from my best friends. No, one left in my area, 2.5 hours. We all have different priorities. We all have different things that God's asked us to do. We have to go do those. But while we do those, let's let everybody know how much they matter, how much we love them, how much we care, how much they've meant to us. Because when we leave this world, we don't take anything. So the things don't matter. My wife and I recently, we just gave away everything we owned. And we moved into a 700 square feet tiny home overlooking a valley. And it's wonderful. It's the most peaceful time we've ever had. I sleep good every night. And we've moved to a little town, population several. I don't live in the town where I film. And it's nice. Reminds me of home. So as I get ready to start the mailbag, which we've got to do today because there's some really heavy questions, I just want you to take time to think, reflect, acknowledge, and think about what it is going forward from this day. Maybe you're 20, maybe you're 70. What is it right now I'm going to change? What am I going to do? What are my priorities? What's God placed me here to do? Am I doing it? What are my next goals? What are the next things I'm going to accomplish? Who do I want to meet? Where do I want to go? What do I want to learn? I learn something every day. I make sure I learn a new task or skill every single day. I have to now because, wow, I've forgotten a lot of what I did know, so I'm actually relearning a lot of the stuff that I knew for years. But no regrets. Maximize your life that you have here because we don't know the day that our childhood ends. So let's go ahead and be the best, most productive adults we can be and live the life that God wanted us to have. Now, let's get to the mailbox. If you have any questions for me, scottferrell.com is how you reach me. If you have any questions for the mailbox, it's show@scottferrell.com. You can find us on all the social media sites up there as you see them. Remember, subscribe and like. It does help us jump up in the ratings. You hear that from everybody on these platforms. But it does help, so subscribe and like. Let me go ahead and get the first question. These are heavy. I knew they were going to be heavy. I don't read these before I start, so my first time seeing it too. Sad in South Carolina. Dear Scott, my husband died a few months ago, and I feel so lost. We did everything together, family, business, fun, Christianity, and now I don't know what to do or which way to go with life. I find myself crying at the weirdest things and feel like my life is over. Please help. For one, our condolences for whatever's taken place. I do know what this is like. I lost someone 21 years ago that I loved. You get up one day and the sun's not bright anymore. Food has no taste. Activities have no joy. All you can feel is pain, emptiness, and this dull ache. You don't know how to breathe any longer. You don't know what to do. And then I went to see my pastor. And he's like, bro, they're with Jesus. What you got going on? Oh, yeah, well, you got me on that one. They're in heaven. Do you think they want to come back? Ask anybody that's ever been to heaven early before they passed. They don't want to come back. So who's got the better end of the deal? Especially if they believe in Christ. They've gone to be with him. They're having fun. Plus, you got to remember the time differential. By the time you see them again, it'll probably be 5 minutes. There's no time in heaven. It's only here. I won't go into all the quantum of that. But, yeah, do I understand why you cry all the time? Absolutely. The person you love the most on this planet has left physically. But not from a spiritual level, they're still here. I won't go into all the science of that. But they're still close by. It's like going on vacation They're going to be on vacation until you go see them again. It's just a matter of time, and that time goes by quite quickly. Now, what do you do on a day-to-day basis to get past it? Trust in God. If you don't lean on God's glory, on the Holy Spirit's strength, you can't get through this, because grief is all-consuming. Therefore, God tells us not to grieve. Why? Because we have Christ. We have the joy, the peace, the love through Christ to be able to come anything, because God's glory and God's power and his love can overcome anything. And when I realized that, I stopped grieving. It's like, well, it's stupid to waste my time grieving. Let me be joy-filled for the time I did have, the love we shared, everything that you had with this. And now you just think how wonderful and glory-filled it was. And then I started to help people that were going through the same thing. Okay, now I'm helping grieving people overcome the loss of a spouse, a child, whatever it is. And to see them have victory, to see them finally feel, to be able to taste food, to see the sun, it's wonderful. And people say, well, Tom covers all wounds. No, it doesn't. That's not true. Holy Spirit can. Time doesn't. Time makes it a little more dull. But no, time doesn't take away grief. Jesus can. Let him take over here, and you'll get through it, I promise. All right, next one. Janine in Texas. I've been listening to your show, and I've been determined I'm a really crappy mom. Self-awareness, I dig it, man. How can I get started on turning my relationship and position as a mother with my kids around quickly? What you said about programming from 0 to 7 has scared me about the damage I'm doing to my kids on a daily basis. My kids are 2 and 4 and are hellions, and I know it's my fault. Wow. Hey, man, self-reflection. I dig it. A lot of people won't admit that. They'll blame the world, blame me, blame whoever's standing next to them. What do? You just make a decision. All right, so most people, can't say all, but most, make mistakes in parenting. Okay, you've acknowledged it. The first person who has to change is you. I always tell people, if you want your kids to change, you start. What needs to change about you to make sure they get to maximize their lives and you maximize yours? Right? Why did God create you? What is it that God's put you here on this earth to do? What could you go pro in? What are the 3 things that you do that you could go pro in tomorrow? Are you doing them professionally? And then make a list. I mean, here's the fastest way. You do this with a company. Why aren't we losing money? All right, let's make a list. How do we make money? Okay, let's make a list. It's not hard. What makes me a crappy mom? All right, write it down. All right, what would make you a wonderful mom? Write it down. All right, so stop doing the crappy stuff and do the stuff that works. See how easy this is? Stop kicking yourself. Kicking yourself's not going to do any good. There's a reason why God put our foot going forward, not backward. So we couldn't kick ourselves in the butt. Stop. Done. Admit it, quit it, forget it. Let's go. All right, going forward, remember, kids are mini adults, so to speak. Because whatever behavior they display as a child, they'll display as an adult. So if you want the adult behavior to change it now. All right. What makes kids a good citizen? What makes kids successful? What would make you successful? Same thing. Clear set goal, clear set reason that you're here, understanding why God put you here and getting on it, being healthy, figuring out why your Creator loves you, what your skill set is, what your purpose, plan, direction is. You go first, they'll follow. You go first, they'll follow. Kids will do. That's what cracks me about parents. Well, they've never done that at home. Well, sure they have. Ralphie's not the only one from Christmas Story that uses profanity. Where did he learn it? It was father. Ralphie just didn't create words out of the ether. I heard his father say it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, poor Schwartz, go back and watch Christmas Story. And now, if you really want to feel old, realize that Ralphie's 54 years old now. But it's all about clarity. What is going to cause me and my kids to be a success going forward? See, I can't answer directly because I don't know you. I don't know your background. I don't know what's going on. I just have a set of parameters here. So it's up to you. Now, you can always email the show at scotferrell.com. I'd be glad to help. But most of the time, you can figure this out yourself. What am I doing wrong? What would be right? What makes my kids successful on a daily basis? Self-discipline, all right? If they see you self-disciplined, they'll learn it. Why do they have chores? Why do they have to love each other? Why do they have to display that love for each other? All these things go into be a parent. I've got a parenting book coming out this year. I promised my publisher. He's going to hold me to it. On how to, 100% of the time, raise kids that are ready to be successful in life. Isn't that what parents want? I want my child to be more successful than me. Okay, but then as parents, as this lady's acknowledged, we don't set our kids up for success. We let our junk, our trivial things, our drama destroy their childhood. Our past destroys their present. What we do in the natural now destroys them later. Because kids, 0 to 7 is human programming. There are some total of everybody that's been around them. They will only display the behaviors they've seen displayed. So no different than kids go, well, I got my mom's temper. Well, no, that's not genetics. That's watching your mom on a daily basis explode. Look at all the things we see out now with culture. All these teen takeovers. Where do you think they got those behaviors from? Mom and dad, or just mom. We're not going to do something outside of our culture, so to speak, because I've been specifically programmed to do X. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank God this mom realized I'm doing every single thing wrong. Cool. Great time to start. 2 and 4. They're not fully programmed. Let's get this going, man. All right, let's get their program changed. Now, the one thing a kid has to have a foundation is love. Love's not based on performance. Love is love. I love you, period. Not because you do this, not because you do that, not because you performed, not because you got good grades or you're a great athlete, or because you cleaned your room. I love you. Now, here's why you clean your room. Here's why you do these things. Here's why you get good grades as success-oriented task. All right. Hopefully that helped. I don't even have time to get to the next question. If you have any questions, go to show@scotferrell.com. If you have any questions for me or you need to hire us as a company, scotferrell.com is how you reach out. Just send us an email. We'll be glad to get back in touch with you. Do me a favor, though. We've spent so much time on capitalization of your life. Spend this week, starting today, maximizing the rest of your life. You won't regret it, and let everybody know how much you love and appreciate them. I'm Scot Ferrell. I'll see you next time. Take care.